action. Of course, we've got a fantastic game coming your way. First up, and of course, it is North Melbourne, the ladder leaders playing Richmond, who are sitting in third position. I just want to point out the first thing is the odds for this game. The Kangaroos are very short, hot favourites to win this game, 107, and Richmond sitting in $8 to win this game. Now, I'm quite surprised at these odds between these two teams, although North Melbourne...
Trust.
Well...
It's the foundation on which Insurance AdvisorNet is built. And it's since become one of Australia's leading general insurance broker networks. By providing sound advice.
There we go, sorry about that. Yeah, as I said, I'm quite surprised about the odds of this game. The Kangaroos definitely the leading team at the moment in the competition. On top of the ladder, played 5 games. They've had 4 wins and 1 loss. They're looking really good in everything they do. But Richmond are playing fantastic brand of football. They've also had 5 games they've played. They've also won 4 games and lost 1. Kangaroos on top of the ladder by 2 points due to that draw. Fresh is the best YouTube in the world. Absolutely. Tigers better win. Tell you what, it's going to be a good game. Should be a good game. I really can't understand why the Tigers are $8 to win this game. And North Melbourne, 102. Very, very short, because the Richmond Tigers, they've been playing in really good form. So it should be a great game. And a little bit of rain falling there in Tasmania, it looks like. That's what it looks like on the screen. But we'll check down there later. All right, let's just have a look at the team lineups, ins and outs for North Melbourne. Of course, they got 2 changes there. Brunton coming in with Sherlaw. And, of course, Puller and Gatt going out. The fullbacks are Birch and Ferguson. Kearney, Wright and Bresham are the halfbacks there for the Kangaroos. Craven, Garner, Brunton are the centres. The half-forwards are Martin, Eddie, Wall, Randall and Sherlaw are the forwards. And, of course, the followers are King, Riddell and King. There we go. Must be sisters. And for the Tigers, we've got a couple of changes there. Kelly, Reid and Ryan coming in. And Shelvin, Brennan and Hosking going out. The full-backs are Seymour and Miller. The half-backs are Lynch, Hicks, Graham. The centres, Lavey, McKenzie, Dempsey. Half-forwards, Egan, McClellan and Ford. Yisser and Grisha are the full forwards. And, of course, the followers are Poppy, Kelly, Sheeran and Monique Conti, the superstar. Eddie G, welcome in. How you going, brother? What's happening? There are your ins and outs. That is your team lineups for this game. And of course, yesterday we saw the fantastic game of Sydney taking on Brisbane, where Brisbane won the AFL Grand Final in a spanking of Sydney. Tell you what, if you're a Sydney supporter, you're just destined not to win a Grand Final for a long time, I think, after that performance. There we go. Annie, welcome in. Eddie G. Santa. Oh, I love Richmond, so Richmond better win. That's it. Vote for Richmond. See how they go. Oh my God, I caught you by the badass. Yeah, that's it. Certainly did, Eddie G. Ebony B, how you going? Welcome in. Welcome in. So we've got a couple of good games on for today, folks. And of course, this is the first game coming up, North Melbourne versus Kangaroos, in just over a minute time. Following this game, we've got the other fantastic game, and of course that is the Brisbane Lions taking on Adelaide. And have a look at this. The first 2 games we're going to highlight today are all the 4 top teams. Kangaroos taking on Richmond, first versus third. And then the second game after this, second versus fourth, Adelaide Crows versus Richmond. So we're in for a fantastic day of football again. I tell you what, you just can't get enough of football. Got to love it. Gotta love footy. All right, I think it's just about time we head down to the ground. In this wet ground in UTAS Stadium down there in Launceston. My gosh, that's too early for me to be saying those words. Launceston. All right, folks. Anyway, enjoy the game. I was ready to spring. Oh, centre all. Yeah, top 4, top 2. It should be a good game. As I said, Addy, I can't believe North Melbourne, I think we're about $1.02 to win this game. Richmond, $8. I think, you could have a sneaky fiver on Richmond at the $8. You never know, you could be in with a chance. All right, let's take you down to the ground for the bounce of the first quarter.
On rolling. We are set to go at UTAS Stadium, as you can see. Plenty of groundwater already around. Round 5 AFLW action. North Melbourne and Richmond in Launceston, and we are underway. There's Riddell and Conti both chasing that football. Craven came in off the wing. King lost possession. Sheeran. Quick kick from Dempsey. And set up nicely behind the football is Bresnahan. Bresnahan towards half forward. Spoil comes from the back. Ball hits the deck. Here's Conti involved early, and there's that evasiveness that Sarah was talking about. Well done, Martin. Managed to wrap up Sheeran. Quick kick from Miller. Awkward bounce here for Dempsey. She goes one-on-one with Eddie. Hicks picked up the football, couldn't dispose of it effectively. Sheeran. Martin, we're going to see plenty of this afternoon, Sarah.
Yeah, we're going to see plenty of this. And you talk about Mon Conti in time and space. Even in terrible conditions, Mon still looks like she has time and space.
Cleanliness today is going to be so important. If you can pick up the football and handle it cleanly, here's Conti again. Another example, slick ball, she managed to control it, then she gets it back. Takes some territory down the line, kicks to a 2-on-2. Ball ricochets off the contest towards the line. Carney happy to see it spin out. So McCarney, we mentioned, and made the move a couple of years ago to move her to half back in 2022. Set her up behind the football. She's such an important defensive general back there, and also provides so much launch and drive and creativity.
Yeah, she does. When she gets the ball, she gives it, she goes again, and she starts their ball movement. She's so important to them, and I think that Richmond's forwards will need to be onto that early.
Conti trying to find a fourth touch, and she does. Dempsey did well, popped a handball over the top. Awkward one there for McKenzie. Free kick whistle goes. Garner has the free kick being held. Jazz Garner. Ellie McKenzie, one of those next generation mids finding a way. We're into her 5th season in the competition, Ellie McKenzie. It's amazing, isn't it? It doesn't seem that long ago she was making a debut.
Yeah, and I think Ellie McKenzie is, when Mon gets tagged, she's been a player who's stepped up every single week, and she's just an incredible player. There's a bright future ahead of her.
Graham wrapped up by Randall. Will reset right on the edge of the centre square. So King and Kelly will go at it. Poppy got hands to it. Craven tracks it, leaves it for Garner. Well done, Sheeran. Managed to win it, takes a bit of territory, and it's going to be all about territory this afternoon. Get it forward and try to lock it in. Bresnahan, high up and under. Kelly stands underneath this one. Tough one to mark. Egan couldn't control it. Neither could Martin. Coming through was Miller. Here's Levy, another who tends to be clean under pressure. Sheeran's got a powerful kick. Look at the wind, hold that up. It drops almost vertical, and Greiser read it better. Outside her range in these conditions, kicking into the breeze. So she takes the hit-up kick, well read by Carney. Got there just in time. Greiser couldn't find an effective handball. King tried to slap it out, taken by Egan. Quick kick, umpire says play on. Chance here for Greiser, heads goalward. Mrs. Wright, opening score goes to the Tigers into the breeze.
I think Richmond are doing a really good job of, out of the stoppage, using their hands and not kicking to the spare that North have sitting back in the D50. I think that's been really important to start the game.
Birch takes the territory with the breeze behind her, again off the hands of Kelly. And Egan does a good job wrapping up Martin. Here's Neve Martin, 23-year-old from Tipperary. Craven spun through the first, but straight into Sheeran. And the big body of Eilish Sheeran today is going to be important.
Yeah, definitely. In conditions like this, you want to see those players getting up, crashing packs, and getting the ball down to their smalls.
And it looks like she's got the job on Garner, which will be a fantastic matchup to watch.
Yeah, definitely. You have to put someone on Garner. You can't just leave her. She's such a damaging force.
And Eilish Sheeran has the size and power to go body to body with Garner, who wins that free kick, kicks it inside 50. Graham got there first, shoved over by Randall. Coming in was Seymour. Lynch in there as well, collapses in over the top of Talia Randall and creates a stoppage.
Seymour was playing in the ruck last year, and she's been great since she's gone down back this season. I think she's done a lot of intercepting and been really important for Richmond defensively.
Conti and Levy link up. Mon got shoved off it. So it'll be her 5th touch coming up. Sheeran's already had 4 as well. Bresnahan and Craven lead the game with a couple, along with Garner for North. Up in front was Mackenzie. Couldn't complete the grab. Well done, Egan. Now releases the speedster Ford. Kick towards 50 to another speedster, Yasir. Pumps a handball back. Quick kick inside 50 from McClellan. Greiser was having a jumper held. They call advantage. Yasir takes it and kicks the opening goal for the Tigers. Great start for Richmond. So Richmond dominating territory early. Yasir takes the advantage. And the Tigers with the opening 2 scores, they lead it by 7 points.
That's been a great start by Richmond. Again, they're using the hands. Even in these conditions, they're managing to dispose of the ball really well. And also, they're not kicking the ball to the spare +1 that North have sitting behind the ball. So they're doing a great job so far.
Dominating ground balls early, which is going to be critical today. 10-5 Richmond, and they win another one there. Mackenzie gets it to Conti. Good signs early here for the Tigers. Dalloway's wrapped up. +6 for contested possession. +11 for uncontested. 14-3, in fact. So Richmond winning it on the inside and getting it to the outside more effectively early as King's kick goes inside 50, past Randall. Graham now under pressure, needs some support. Important toe poke might just buy the Tigers some time. Bruton slips past the Lynch tackle, squares it up towards the corridor. Reading it well was Dempsey, good defensive running from the wing. Couldn't control the football as O'Loughlin came in. Well done by Bacon. Handball over the top of Garner was picked off by Sheeran. Her kick can't quite clear Mia King. And North will maintain possession inside 50. King's kick. Garner will have to come over the top of Sheeran. Slapped away by Bacon. Here's Smith. Pumps a handball back to King. Couldn't get traction on the kick. Garner, King, and Dalloway happy to work it to the line. So North for the first time this afternoon with a little bit of sustained possession inside their forward 50 to put some pressure on Richmond. King at the back. Conti. Bruton. Handball a little hot for Smith, who got barreled over by Dempsey. Kick into traffic. Miller just clears the zone to the outer side. Leading in the race for this is O'Shea. She'll get there a step ahead of Yasir. Millsy does well to not infringe, but hold her up. How does the umpire see this? O'Shea tries to power out of the tackle. Yasir pulls the football back in. They wrestle. Umpire puts the whistle away and just lets them play. Sheeran to the wing. Greiser got the hand in on Ferguson, and then Reed sticks the tackle. Rennie down to Martin, couldn't control it. Conti uses the support of Levy. A little bit of time, hits up the short kick, not the required distance. So Sheeran steps around Mia King. Kick beats the smother. Past Greiser, first back is Sarah Wright. To Ferguson. Tumbles it towards the wing. Conti will go back against Randall, has support, Libby Graham. This is Bacon. Kelly. Conti, 8th touch. Down the line, Mackenzie dropped the mark. O'Shea can now put some pressure on. Well done, Mackenzie, got free. Levy across the body. Reed, Garner immediately tackled by her shadow this afternoon. Sheeran. Rennie. Might have copped one play on the call. Tripodi to Bruton. Graham couldn't control it, but again, the Tigers well set up. Bacon, trouble here for Seymour. She's ridden into the ground by Wall as we head down to a catch boundary side. We'll come back to a catch shortly. Levy to Lynch. Good tackle. Tripodi is going to be rewarded.
the moment, it looks like they don't have a tag on Mon Conti, which is an interesting choice. She seems to be sitting off the back of the stoppage.
In fact, it was a free kick for a hole going to Lynch. Little give from Martin to O'Shea. High and wide and out of bounds on the full. Let's try a catch again, boundary side.
North Melbourne skipper Emma Carney will take no further part in this game. She's out with a hamstring injury.
Oh, that is massive news. Thanks, Ketch. Not only for this game, but in such a short season, Sarah. What might be a 3 or 4 week hamstring injury, and we don't know how severe it is yet, but you take no chances. It could be a big chunk of a season, can't it?
I know, that's the thing about the AFLW season, and the challenging part about it. They can miss out on so many important games, and as we spoke about earlier, Emma Carney is so important to their ball movement, and she starts that chain of attack, so she's a massive loss for North.
Seymour's kick back towards the wing. Big story for the Kangaroos. They'll wait on those scans to see. Hopefully it's just precautionary and felt a bit of tightness and they took her out before any damage was done, but we'll have to wait and see. The 34-year-old Emma Carney.
So early in the game as well, I think it's always difficult when your skipper goes off, you know, the leadership as well, and in big moments you need experience.
And the Tigers have started well. They're matching them around the contest. That was really good from Tripodi. Found the football in congestion. Here's Tam Lute. Couldn't find her handball. That's going to be a free kick to Garner. Ball will come back. Chaz Garner for her 4th touch coming up. Conti's already had 8, and Sheeran, who's playing on Garner, 7. What a great battle that's already becoming. Sheeran versus Garner, and if you drop a prototype player to be able to play on Chaz Garner, it's almost Ailey Sheeran, isn't it, with her size and power?
Yeah, definitely. She's been so strong this whole season, and I think that they're really well matched. I'm interested to see how that unfolds throughout the game, because generally Chaz Garner, if she finds a way somehow throughout the game, she'll manage to get more time and space as the game moves on.
Miller took it to the line there for the Tigers. So inside 50s have levelled up at 4 apiece. North Melbourne starting to win more contested ball after the first 5 minutes or so was dominated by Richmond. The Roos now, their last 6 or 7 minutes have been pretty good. They've settled into the game. King couldn't control it. There is Sheeran. Garner, turned tackler. Well done, Conti. Popped a handball over the top. That'll release Mackenzie onto her left boot. She'll go by hand into the middle of the ground. Good pick up from Lynch under pressure, but the handball missed its target. Dalloway there. Martin threw a boot at it. Sheeran found it, picked it up, and kicked towards half forward. Standing underneath it, O'Shea. Bresnahan at the back to Birch. She pokes it through some traffic, but again, Tigers well set up. This is Tam Lute.
Tigers are well set up, and again, the way they're using their hands around the stoppage to get themselves out into time and space and then make clear decisions has been excellent today.
Conti knows she has support. It's Levy again. Those two working well in the early stages. High to half forward. Reid tracks after the football, trickles towards the line. King takes it down. Coming in is Smith, nowhere to go. So the positive here, you can see the rain that's blowing in at 45 degrees from left to right. So the Roos have got the strong breeze. Richmond's ability to control the football, they've killed all that time into the wind.
Yeah, they have, and generally across the season, on average, North Melbourne are a much higher disposing team than Richmond, but today it seems to be quite the opposite. They've generally even inside 50 counts, but generally Richmond use their feet a lot more than they are today. Great
start into the breeze for Richmond. Could get better here because Mackenzie attacks the goal face. Well done by Ferguson. Could not allow that to slip through the fingers and get to the back. And in conditions like today, Sarah, rather than try to mark it, she just slapped it forward and played the percentage.
Yeah, definitely. I think on days like today, you need to adapt the way you play. You obviously want to try play clean footy, but sometimes you just need to get the ball down.
Didn't take the risk of it slipping through her fingers. Just paddled it flat-handed to the line, which is what Rennie did just there as well. So just over 4 minutes remaining in the opening term. Promising start from Richmond into the breeze. North Melbourne unable to take advantage of it. See at times the rain's coming in at 45 degrees as it is right now. Going towards the right of screen. Kick from Martin as her legs got taken out from underneath her. Down the line went Wall. Randall in over the top of it. Seymour taken down. Conti slapped, and Levy rather slapped it forward. Mia King to Bresnahan. Off a step towards the centre of the ground. Mark taken by Sheila. Kate's first involvement. Penetrating kick towards half forward, off the hands of Randall and off the head of Graham. They go body to body, great use of the body from Randall. Got rid of Graham, turns inside. It's a one-on-one, it's Lady versus Craven. Lady wants front position, she'd be happy with the boundary line. Flipped it up, Seymour. Spun to the line by O'Shea and the Tigers scrambling defence.
Seymour's been really important to them in defence this year. They have a really good defensive system this season for Richmond. Against Carlton, Carlton didn't kick a single goal. So they've been working really well together this season.
Throw in. It's a little short and it'll be recalled. You have to throw straight into the wind at that end of the ground. So 2.5 minutes here for North Melbourne to manufacture a goal.
D50 just got a lock on.
Luke against Randall. Down to Sheeran, who's had a big first term. Sockers it off the ground. McKenzie got a hand on it to stop it. Working in there was Smith. Socket forward by Bresnahan. Eager to be happy to be taken over the line. She fends. Handball's back. She's got Lynch there in support. Garner, partly smothered, but kick got through slightly. Big collision between Seymour and Randall, and Talia came off second best. She's still down, Talia Randall. They may have to stop play here. They will. You can see a mouthguard, I think, might have come out in that collision. Well, she's taken it out at least. Bang! Big shoulder to shoulder. Talia with a real bone rattler.
Yeah, she's a really important player for them as well with her experience. She's also kicked 48 goals in her whole AFLW career, so I hope she's okay. She's really important to North.
It was a big, solid hit. Nothing untoward about it. Two players, both with their eyes on the ball, and Seymour just got slightly more elevation. She came in really solid. Seymour with all the momentum into that contest. Randall will come off for assessment. The Kangas already without Emma Carney, who's got a hamstring injury in the opening minutes. Hopefully for Talia, it's just needing to catch her breath and some composure rather than anything too serious. Riddell. Garner. Socket forward by Wall. Dangerous position here. Lynch uses Dempsey and they get it to the line. Well played by the Tigers. Riddell just the 2 touches early. Garner's had 5 for the Kangas, while Sheeran and Conti have both had 10 apiece. And there is Talia, hopefully just catching her breath. Rennie and King. Eddie over the top of it. He's Rennie again, smothered off her boot by Sheeran, picked up by Garner. Towards Sheila at the top of the square. Wall there lurking, throws a boot at it, couldn't connect. Tigers hanging on, well done by Bacon. Good presence of mind from the youngster. Players can be reluctant to do that, Sarah, but she saw the line, she knew she was under pressure, and she took it.
Yeah, absolutely. You could see that she was just so hungry for the ball there. She wasn't thinking anything else other than defend and fight. D50 is always a cage fight.
No need to keep it alive in that situation. Here's Sheeran. McKenzie tried to duck under the tackle and get stuck. Well done by O'Shea. So still time for the Kangas with a minute on the clock. Chance to tie it up here. O'Shea. Inside 50 with a tumbling kick. Eddie at the front of the contest. In there working hard again is Ailish Sheeran, who was playing some sort of quarter. She's had 12 touches and been in everything.
Yeah, she has. She seems to be just getting stuck in as well, and she's using a physical presence as well, and then it ends up she gets her hands on the ball.
We saw it late in 2023, the emergence when she was thrown into the midfield in the last round. And days like today, just her strength, her power, and that left boot when she can find it to take territory. She's becoming a midfield weapon for the Tigers. Very different too to Conti and Lavey.
Yeah, they have a nice mix of midfield as well. They have Grace Egan who gets in and under, and then that allows the other girls to go to work around her. And then there's also Dalloway, who's playing a really selfless role in the midfield.
Starting to develop a nice balance in the middle of the ground, the Tigers. Smith pokes it forward. Past Sheila. Socket on by Eddie. Dangerous spot here. Lynch goes off the ground. Actually missed it with her right boot and hit it with her left. Smith missed it with both. Bacon got a bit of territory. It's going to come back with 10 seconds left. Tigers need to defend here. Right to the front of the contest. Eddie was touched. They can rush it through, and they do. Well done, Graham. And the Tigers survive the late pressure from the Kangaroos.
Richmond are winning clearance at the moment as well, 11 to North Melbourne 6. So that's a story of the game for us.
Well, that's a really promising first term from Richmond into the breeze against the ladder leaders. It's 2 scores apiece, but it's Richmond 1-1-7. North Melbourne 2 behinds in brutal conditions in Launceston.
All right, quarter time here. Can you believe it? It's the Tigers 1-1-7 leading the Kangaroos 2 behinds, 2 points. Ryan is going to be a happy boy there at the moment. I tell you what, folks, for North Melbourne to be 102 starting this game in Richmond $8, I would have loved to have had a little bit of that $8 on Richmond, because we know the form that they've been in. We know the form that North Melbourne have been in, but we know Richmond aren't too bad of a wet weather side. And of course, today's game, there was plenty of water on the ground, and in that quarter, I did like the way Richmond came out of the gates. And I tell you what, they look like the 102 favourites going into this game. They were pretty much in control for most of that game of the first quarter. A little bit of a stalemate in, well, the last maybe 5 or 6 minutes of that quarter. Richmond just seeming to handle the wet conditions a little bit better than North Melbourne. And of course, it'll be interesting to see what happens after this second quarter, because North Melbourne actually had a reasonable breeze in that first quarter, Richmond kicking into the breeze, yet they still got the job done. There we go. All right, so we've got some good numbers here for a couple of the girls. Tell you what, they're handling the wet weather ball pretty good. There doesn't seem to be too much fumbling and all that type of thing out there. It's actually not too bad. So there's a lot of water sitting on top of the ground. No mud patches, but there's just a lot of water. It's wet. The rain's coming down at 45 degrees. So in for a wet day, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. This one today. All right, Alicia Sheeran tops the table with 11. How's that? That's not bad for a first quarter, is it? In, terrible conditions, 11 possessions. Monique Conti, she looks super, super dangerous early, getting plenty of the ball there. Linking up there with her 7 handballs, 3 kicks. Tessa Lavey there was 7. Of course, the best for North Melbourne. And Jasmine Garner and Nicole Bresham with 6. But yeah, the girls up the top, they're having a cracker of a first opening quarter. So I'll be really fascinated to see, is this breeze really, really valuable today? Normally the breeze is, 2 to 3 goals in favour of that end. But since it's been wet, I think a lot of them will just try to kick it forward as much as they can. As you can see, there's a lot of the players there with just 1 possession, or no possession down the bottom, or just a couple possession. But yeah, there's definitely some players dominating this game. And of course, that's Sheeran and Conti for the Tigers. As we can see, the only goal scorer, yes sir, was the goal scorer for the Tigers. 2 disposals, 1 kick, 1 goal. That's what we like to see. I don't think the fantasy points will be too high there at the moment. Sheeran there and Garner both on 37. There we go. Let's have a quick look at the team stats. We should see Richmond leading the way here in most departments. And we'll be back down to the ground in just a minute. 67 to 51. Of course, the kicks are a little bit similar there. 33-32, the handball. So Richmond just trying to link up a little bit more there. It's not always easy in wet conditions, but they're getting the job done pretty good. Inside 50s. And both teams having pretty well equal opportunities there. 7 to North Melbourne for 2 scoring shots. 6 to Richmond for 2 scoring shots. And the difference is one had a good breeze and the other was kicking into the breeze. There we go. Disposal efficiency, of course, that's going to be a little bit down today in these trying conditions. 4 to 3 in the 3 kicks. So not too many in these in this wet game here. We thought we've been so wet and played sliding in and around, they might accidentally give a few high free kicks, etc. Hit outs, Tigers by 2 clearances, though. Richmond winning that pretty well, 11-6. Same with the stoppage clearances, 10-6. They're just doing everything right, the Tigers, so far. And let's see how they can have a look at that uncontested possession, just controlling the ball, 35-15. Wow, all right, not too many marks, as I said. She's pretty wet and slippery, the ball today, but both teams are doing pretty well. North Melbourne, though, defending well, 27-12, tackles inside 50, 10 to North Melbourne, 2 to Richmond. All right, let's get back down to the ground for the bounce. For the bounce of the ball in the second quarter.
Experienced players in the forward line.
Some fascinating numbers in that opening term. The handball numbers and the uncontested possession numbers have both caught your eye.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one, because I think when the weather is the way it is and it's hard conditions, often teams go to either being a purely handball team or a kick team, and it generally seems to be that there's a bit of an outbalance, but it seems that Richmond seems to just use the ball and are sticking to their system and everything they're doing, and it's working for them.
Yeah, they're using their hands to get it to the outside of those uncontested players, where they've got a bit more time to be a little bit more particular about where they then kick it, to avoid the likes of Libby Birch waiting behind the football. As we start the second term, Tigers will have the breeze in the second quarter. Rennie pokes it off the ground. Dempsey put her head over it. She now goes shoulder to shoulder with Smith, picked up by Mia King, couldn't get it through the traffic. Conti, the collect and the handball over the top to Dempsey, who soccers off the ground, keeps it alive, gains 15 metres. Forward. And McKenzie worked to the line there by Amy Smith. So leading ball getters, Sheeran's had 11, Conti's had 11, Lavy's had 7 for Richmond. Bresnahan and Garner and King, Mia King have all had 6 for North Melbourne, but it's Sheeran and Conti at the moment lighting it up for the Tigers. Sheeran with the job on Garner and doing a super job in that. There is Garner at the moment, sliding across was Dalloway. King versus Kelly. Ball up. So for Sheeran to get the job on Garner in the first term and almost double the possessions, 11-6. Wonderful result for Ryan Ferguson and the Tigers. Can Riddell get involved? She's been quiet. Just the 2 touches for Ash so far. Forward was clean. Conti drew a crowd. Craven nowhere to go. Rolled in the tackle by Dempsey.
When Mon Conti got the ball there, you saw the 3 North players rush to her. So it looks to me that they're not going to tag on her, but they're giving her real attention.
Oh, there's a falcon at close range from Grace Egan, which is what you don't want with the heavy ball in the cold conditions today. Fortunately, she's okay. Garner. Pressure came from Dempsey. Randall couldn't complete the grab. Eddie goes to the voice of Riddell. Kicks towards 50. An awkward one at the ankles of Shearlaw. Well wrapped up by Seymour. Prevented the arms getting free.
Ash Riddell's 3rd disposal there in the game. She's normally has had a lot more by this stage of the game, so they're doing a good job on her so far.
Kelly tried to take on Garner, but will go no further. Rennie tried to get it to Riddell. Picked off by Egan. Socket by Craven, but straight into Reed. He was then tackled by Tess. Dempsey goes for territory. Socket back by Ford. Mia King tries to drive the legs out of the tackle. Got it to Rennie. She bounces towards half forward. Martin. She goes off the ground. Didn't get full traction. Hicks was taken high. Umpire was blindsided. Didn't see the arm over the shoulder from Eddie. Well done, Rennie, but straight into Hicks. Past Wall and Miller, who engaged and allowed Dempsey some time. Can Miller get there to touch it before the line? Better than that. She can pick it up as Smith ran past the football. Reed couldn't control it. Ford put her body in, did well. Taken down by Wright, tries to wrap her up. Ball underneath Stella Reed. Ball up. Just look at that groundwater.
Yeah, a lot of balls being kicked off the ground in these conditions.
Riddell. It's just going to be a game of inches this afternoon, metre by metre. Conti, Egan, Dalloway, and Smith to the line.
Richmond's effort again there to play their system, use the hands, try get into the outer bubble outside the contest has been incredible. Again, as we talked about, in these conditions it's not always easy to do that.
What do you think the instructions might have been from Darren Crocker at quarter time for North Melbourne?
Yeah, I think that Darren Crocker would be saying that we need to get in tight on them and we need to not expect them to kick the ball, because that's the thing. I think they're setting up long down the line, expecting Richmond to kick the ball, but Richmond are using their hands and then it's creating chaos for North Melbourne.
Yeah, Tigers are getting numbers to the contest. On this occasion, Dempsey's going to have to go in on Smith and Martin, and she infringed in the process on Neve. Neve will go long. It's instruction from her teammate. Off the hands of Randall. Graham to Kelly. Tigers turn them back once again, and now they can turn defence into attack through Conti. Mon looks up. Wants an option on the wing. He's got a 2-on-2. Greiser was the target. It'll get over the back. It'll stop there on the surface water. Ferguson went to ground. Greiser kept their feet, so important in these conditions. Nice step from Egan. And then even better delivery finds Greiser. Caitlin can load up. She's got the slight breeze at her back in the second term. Thumps it inside 50. Wright was well positioned and had King in support. Quick kick will work from Martin. Umpire said it was touch, so Neve had to be quick. Into the middle. 3 Tigers should get there first. Graham, time to assess her option. Spreads it wide. It's perfect for Lavey. O'Shea couldn't quite prevent her picking it up. Delivering it inside 50. King came over the top of Conti. Gets it to Garner. And bounces it back to Graham. Randall in pursuit. Seymour drew a crowd. Popped the handball to Miller. Beck looks up. Tries a little short kick into the middle. She's got 3 Tigers to give it to. Sheeran punches to half forward. There is Libby Birch. There is that long kick down the line that North are set up for.
Yeah, North are set up for that, but North are also rolling back their defence and they're leaving people free in the corridor. So the Richmond girls there's 3 Richmond girls with no one locating them in the middle of the field. So if they kick long down the line, they'll end up in the hands of Libby Birch, but I think that they need to use their hands more again.
There's Sheeran. Well done, O'Shea. Well done, O'Shea. Sheeran powered through the first tackle, but Erica wouldn't let her go. Important one there for the Kangas. Spreads it to Libby Birch. So if you are Richmond in the middle of the ground and you've got 3 players uncontested, how do you play it from there?
I think you need to use your hands as they have been doing, but there's just that last one there where they kicked the ball into Libby Birch's hands. There was 3 free players in the corridor, so I think they need to continue to stick to method, but there is a real clear method about what Richmond are doing at the moment.
Bruton's kick. Awkward bounce. Got past Eddie. Hicks had to be quick as Randall arrived. And again, the Tigers got numbers around this. Reed a fumble, but got it to Egan. Popped it over the top looking for Conti. You see her in there as well. It's a 2-on-1. Important ball for Birch to break even. And the battle continues as it's going to all afternoon. North Melbourne without Emma Carney lost her to a hamstring in the opening minutes. Laura McClellan currently off the ground for Richmond. We'll get an update from Ketch on her condition shortly. Kelly. Bruton had a jumper held. Umpire didn't see it. Egan got away with one there. Sheeran picked it up and then got one in the back. So Tide's a little fortunate. Umpire missed the first one but saw the second. And Ailish Sheeran coming up for her 12th touch. Second in the game only to Mon Conti with 14. She sets herself and takes a deep breath from right on 50. Good contact on the kick. It drifts towards the pocket through the fingertips of Greiser. And over for a minor score.
So far we've been even on clearance at the moment, which is making the game flow a small bit better, and it's more in North Melbourne's favour at the moment.
Birch to Smith. Smith towards the wing. That's a good mark. Take like Beth Lynch. Chips it back inside 50. North set up behind it. Wright could have marked it, went the punch. Egan feeds it through. Conti wants to accelerate past Smith. Tough kick from there. Bends it back. And it's knocked away to the pocket by Birch for a throw in. Conti now up to 15 touches.
even in these conditions, she still makes it look easy.
So Greiser will go in the ruck against Emma King. Chance here for Richmond to manufacture something. They've had plenty of territory with the breeze in the second term. Can they put something on the board here? Tripodi rather, socketed it. Putting her head down to win it was Bacon. Sheila threw a boot at it. Lynch left it behind, then goes back, finds it, but nowhere to go because Randall has her. Will be holding the football. So Tali working high up the ground to get involved. Just her second touch. Great use of the body from Eddie. Couldn't quite complete the grab against Lynch though. And Bacon, Ryan, Charlie Ryan holds it up. Charlie playing her third game of the season, the 20-year-old from Ballura down Mornington Way on the peninsula in Victoria. Tripodi, a little feed to Riddell looking to get involved. Ash with a seventh touch. Just 2 in the first term, so getting a little busier now. And there is Laura McClelland, who's done some run-throughs on the boundary, so good news. She's going to return. Whatever her issue was has been resolved.
Yeah, definitely. Also, the other thing about Richmond at the moment, they're winning the ground ball gets, so it's 39-33 to Richmond, so they seem to be first to the ball every time the ball clears the stoppage.
It's still double the uncontested possessions, 56-28. There haven't been too many in either direction in this term. They haven't been able to get it out to the outside. Darren Crocker will be pleased with that. North shutting down the exits a little better.
Yeah, definitely. North have done better in this quarter, I think, with their midfield, even with the clearance numbers being more even this quarter. But prior to that, obviously Richmond were using their hands very well, but I think they need to get back to their game plan again.
Yeah, North have definitely retweaked things at quarter time, preventing Richmond getting that outside give. It's just become a real arm wrestle in this second term. Neither team able to gain any ascendancy. Riddell's kick knocked down by Wall, but there's Sheeran alongside Garner again. 8 touches for Jazzy, 12 for Ailish. Luke tried to take it from the ruck, but Emma King prevents that.
Richmond seems more organised at the stoppage as well. They're on their toes and they're moving all the time, which is great chaos for North.
Lynch taken down by Ash Riddell. So North have managed to surge it within goal range here. Emma King not happy with the call. Said that Tam Luke was blocking. Umpire said you were holding. Free kick to Tam. That's against Mackenzie for a push. Going to Bruton. So North building towards their first goal here. The ladder leaders in difficult conditions in Tasmania. Bruton goes inside 50. Luke didn't complete the grab. Coming through Martin. Well done, Luke. Managed to grab enough to stop her. Wall lays a tackle. Conti. Handball to Luke. That was a solid collision between Luke and Wall. Ball spills out. Levy gets some distance back towards the wing. You see it caught from the back against Birch. Mackenzie with a tackle on Bruton. As we approach the 5-minute mark to play in this second term. Free kick, Kelly, over the shoulder against Rennie. So the Tigers hanging tough here as the Roos look to rally. Right, another fumble, but she's got support. Ferguson, look out, Tripodi. Well done, Riddell, was clean to Bresnahan. Bouncing football is well stopped by King. She's now going to find it. Slaps it to Garner. And that's over the shoulder against Hicks. Jazzy Garner has it. Flat kick inside 50. Important grab from Graham.
Richmond are really well set up. They're playing a one-on-one defence and it's really working for them at the moment, I think, as well. That matchup with Jazz Garner and Sheeran as well. I think Sheeran seems to be coming out on top at the moment and I think we'd love to see more from Jazz Garner.
I don't say that often about Jazz Garner. Bacon. Well done, Ferguson. Got through the first tackle. Shoots a kick. It was touched off the boot. Well done, O'Loughlin. Good heads-up play. Bounces an awkward one. Gets over Miller. Maybe now a chance for Eddie. There's Sheeran again.
She's everywhere. She's a running machine. I think she gets up and down the ground. She's just, even her ability to set up at the stoppage and get there before everyone else, just if you watch her, she's incredible.
Well, she's been a revelation ever since she came into the AFL in season 7. An All-Australian and second in Richmond's best and fairest in her 2 seasons so far. and heading in that direction again, but maybe as a midfielder in 2024. She was an attacking, aggressive half-back in her first 2 seasons. Today, as we've seen, can be super effective around the football. Egan couldn't control it. Eddie pokes it forward. Randall immediately tackled by Miller. Egan likewise by Tripodi.
Richmond are also putting in really good body work at the stoppage as well. Grace Egan, physical presence in there.
Free kick to Dalloway. I mentioned her strong body around the ball, Sarah. Another option the Tigers have brought in this year from GWS. Ball gets through the contest. McClellan could have gone off the ground, but went to the voice of Sheeran, who could have copped a kicking in danger as Bresnahan came through with her boot. Sheeran comes to the bench. Umpire was blindsided. Free kick goes to Birch. Two and a half to play in the opening half. He's touched off the boot, so Graham at the bat. Had it pinched by O'Loughlin. Riddell turns the defence around. Miller first back. She's going to be under pressure from Randall. Bet with experience. The first flip towards the line and then just allowed the pressure to take her there.
Yeah, definitely. That was really smart by her. I think she knew what she was dealing with in those conditions, and very smart play.
Took no chances. Took a hard left as soon as she got to the ball. Chance here for North. King, he'll get over the back. Eddie was thinking about throwing a boot at it. Riddell's handball straight into the face of Lynch. O'Loughlin met solidly coming the other way by Charlie Ryan, and will get a free kick. Charlie says, what for? Ellis gets up, feeling her mouth. An opportunity. So we take another look.
She's been in real goal-kicking form this season, so I think she'll slot this one.
6-5 for the season. Alice O'Loughlin becomes such an important part of this North Melbourne attack. So this to tie things up with just over a minute to play in the first half. Every shot at goal today is so vital because they're so hard to come by, and O'Loughlin makes the most of it. 1-8 apiece with just over a minute to play in the opening half at UTAS Stadium. O'Loughlin kicks her 7th goal of the season and ties things up.
That's great by Alice O'Loughlin. She's been really important for North this season. I think that's a real point of difference for North is, yes, they have great tall targets, but they also have players like Alice O'Loughlin, smalls, who get to work when the ball hits the deck. So she's been great for them this season, and that's a great finish. As you said, every kick matters at the moment in these conditions.
Kangas get the goal off the back of 7 or 8 minutes of sustained pressure where they managed to hold it in their front half. Dempsey soccers to 50, past McClellan. Birch will be first back there, but Reid arrives at the same time. McKenzie, Riddell, Birch, they get it to Craven. Well worked from the North defence. Still there for Richmond though, if they can regain it. Nowhere for Hicks to go as O'Loughlin wraps her up. Also O'Loughlin, the goal scorer, to tie things heading to half-time. Can Richmond get their noses back in front? Egan went looking for Conti, it's past Reid. Wright put her body in. Tackle from Dalloway. Tigers edge a little closer towards goal with 27 seconds to play. McKenzie went up in the ruck, but it went straight to King. Craven versus Conti. Not sure how Mon controlled that. It was brilliant. It releases Seymour. Important tackle from the back. Affected the kick. Riddell. Rennie a fumble. Feeds it back. Bresnahan. Great smother McClellan. Richmond surging. Socket by McKenzie. Greiser almost a falcon. And in the end, the Tigers will at least get a point. It was hard earned. It gives them the lead at half-time. McKenzie drilled that kick straight at Greiser. Birch to Bruton, and the Tigers head to the major break with a 1-point lead. It's Richmond 139, North Melbourne 128. in an old-fashioned struggle in heavy conditions in Launceston. These two teams throwing everything at each other in the first half. Richmond really good early. North Melbourne later in that second term started to find their way.
Yeah, definitely. I think, especially getting goal scoring pressure, I think once the ball got into their forward 50, they put on a small bit more pressure, but also they're more even on clearances at the moment, and that's really telling. So it's 17 on clearance to Richmond to North Melbourne's 15. So I think that's the real point of difference for North in that quarter.
One straight to two behinds in that second term in favour of North Melbourne. It's the Tigers by 5 points at quarter time and by 1 point at the half. Here's a catch with Ali McKenzie.
Ellie, it's an arm wrestle game right now. What do you guys have to do this second half to win this game?
Yeah, I think North really stepped up their handball game around the contest, and we sort of lost a bit of our shape at stoppage. So I think if we get on top there, that'll take us a long way to win the game.
Having played previously with you guys, I know Richmond played really well in this wet weather. How does this suit you guys in your game?
Yeah, I think it does suit us really well. We're really excited, when it started raining, we were like, this is actually great for us. So, yeah, obviously we love that contest and that surge mentality at times in this weather. So hopefully that plays into our hands. We're just going to get some goals on the board.
Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, Kesh.
Thanks to Ali McKenzie. Her Tigers lead by the barest of margins. It's a 1 point game in Tasmania. Really important 4 points up for grabs. It's first versus third. And then coming up later this afternoon in part 2 of our doubleheader, Brisbane and Adelaide continue their rivalry. It's a Super Sunday doubleheader.
All right, halftime here. Tell you what, they are absolutely spot on. It's a hard-fought battle out there in these wet and heavy conditions. But the Tigers go into halftime leading by that solitary behind. 139 to North Melbourne, 128. What surprised me, no one's kicked a goal with the breeze today. It's all been against the breeze. There we go. Only 4 points in total going with the breeze and a couple of goals going against it. There we go. So no one really got on top in that quarter. And so the heavy conditions were playing a big part in that. And it was just a struggle for both sides in that second quarter. But let's hope the game opens up a little bit in the second half. Let's have a look at the disposal getters on the ground and have a look at this. Monique Conti is the ball magnet. Absolutely out there, leading the way by a fair margin. 19 disposals for Monique. She's having a ripper of a game for the Tigers. 19 disposals, 6 kicks, 13 handballs, 1 mark, 4 tackles. As I said, she's everywhere on the ground. Sheeran there up to 13, 9 kicks, 4 handballs, 4 tackles, so she's going pretty well. Ash Riddell there leading the way for North Melbourne on 12 disposals, 5 kicks, 7 handballs. She's had 3 tackles as well. Mia King next best on 11 with Grace Egan of the Tigers with 11. All right, let's just roll down the board. Libby Birch there with 8 for the Kangaroos. Kate Dempsey there on 7 so far for the Tigers. Poppy Kelly just the 4. Tess Craven also just the 4. There's a few with limited possessions there in the opening half. But gee whiz, what a game. What a game. It's a tight, hard-fought struggle for both sides in these trying conditions out here today. And, of course, just the 2 goal scorers so far in the match today. And, of course, that's 1 each to both sides. Yes, sir, for Richmond, of course, she's got 1 for the Tigers, and Alice O'Loughlin has the other goal for North Melbourne. There we go. All right, let's have a little bit of a look. Let's have a quick look at the fantasy points if you play that. There we go. We'll put them up for you. 64 to Conti, Gunner on 60, Sheeran on 50, and the rest all under that. Let's have a little bit of a look at the team stats. So the team stats, they've evened up a little bit now, just 10 behind, 121, 111 to the Tigers. 74-65 kicks to North Melbourne by 9 there. 19 more handballs to the Tigers. Inside 50s now. Both teams had 14 inside 50, so both getting their chances, as we say. As I said, even though they're getting their chances, it's pretty hard conditions to, get the ball, get the score. It's a lot of the time the ball in that second quarter was along the ground. Players having a little bit of trouble taking hold of it. 45, 56%. Actually, the disposal efficiency for the Tigers isn't too bad in these conditions, 56. North Melbourne, they'll probably want to lift that up a little bit from 45. There we go. Free kicks, 11-8. North Melbourne just by 3 there. A few ticky-touch free kicks given in the game. Not really sure if they were there, but that's how the umpires saw them. That's why they give them 22-19. The hit-outs levelling up a little bit. Clearances, everything's starting to level up a little bit now in this game. 17-15, 2 extra to the Tigers. Tigers 2 clearances to 1 out of the centre. Of course, the stoppage clearance was pretty even as well. Contested possessions, 60-57. The North by 3, but the uncontested Tigers still by 20 in that department. Turnovers, 29 each. So I think this is going to be reasonably high turnover game due to the weather conditions. And time in possession for the match, well, the Tigers had more ball in hand, 43% to 33 for North Melbourne. The marks, not too bad, 10-9, well under season average. As you know, as I was saying, it's the weather conditions, folks. It's the weather conditions. Tackles, North Melbourne, though, doing a great job there in the tackle department. 51-35. Richmond need to lift their game in that area. But North Melbourne well above their season average. And tackles inside 50, you've got to be happy with that if you're a North Melbourne supporter. 13 inside tackle 50s. It's a fantastic job so far to the Tigers. Only 3. All right, there we go. Let's head back down to the commentators as they give us some more of their thoughts.
2-8, Monconti with 19 possessions, Ailey Sheeran with 13 possessions. And you could argue they're the 2 most influential players on the ground, both Richmond.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Monconti is doing it offensively, and then defensively, Sheeran is doing such a great job on Jazz Garner. They've been extremely important in getting the ball outside the stoppage.
We spoke about cleanliness at the start of the day. In these conditions, it's even more important than it is when it's beautiful conditions. The one thing you said about Mon very early on is just her ability to be clean and precise and find some space and do all the things she does in dry weather. She seems to be able to do it in the wet as well.
Yeah, absolutely. She gets the ball out, she gives herself time and space, she finds time and space, and she disposes of the ball so well and generally hits the target. So she's so important to them, and every time she has the ball, she just makes it look easy.
The big difference between the 2 teams in that first quarter in particular was this: Richmond's ability to win it on the inside and get it moving, and Conti played a huge part in that.
Yeah, definitely. She drives her legs as soon as she gets the ball, drives it out of stoppage, and then gets herself into time and space and gets the ball on the outside.
And it felt like North Melbourne did a better job in that second term of shutting down those exits. So even when Richmond managed to get first possession, North didn't let them get to the outside quite so easily.
Yeah, definitely. I think in the second quarter, North got much better at using their hands, and then they were able to stop them and come forward and were better defensively in the second half.
Well, we spoke about Jazz Garner at the start of the day and what an influential midfielder she can be. Ailey Sheeran got the match up, and she's doing a fine job.
She's doing such a good job. She's just getting to the contest really early. She's setting up. She's just on Jazz Garner's back. As soon as she touches the ball, Sheeran is there right behind her.
13 possessions for Ailey Sheeran and only 9 for Jazz Garner in the first half. So Sheeran having a huge impact. And we've mentioned a few times that ability there, Sarah. She's so strong in the core to be able to put herself over the football to either win it or not get bumped off it, or if she's second to the football, lay the tackle and make it stick.
Yeah, she's so determined, and her fight and her spirit, she just gets in and under, gets stuck in, and she's also so powerful and she's so fit as well. So she's just well able, she kind of has it all, but she's doing a great job in Jazz Garner.
The last 7 or 8 minutes of that second term, North Melbourne seemed to really find their feet in the contest a little bit better, do you think?
Yeah, I think they got a better handle of it. I'd say their messaging at quarter time would have been, we need to stop Richmond using the hands, because they're using the hands so well in the first quarter, but they did a great job in the second quarter.
This is part 1 of our Sunday doubleheader coming up later this afternoon. It's the Lions and the Crows. It's a 1-point game in Tassie. action at UTAS Stadium in Launceston. In very, very difficult conditions, but the Tigers are enjoying it. As we head to a catch, boundary side.
Yeah, the good news is that the rain has stopped. One of the players that I'm really looking forward to having a big second half is Ash Riddell. North really need her. You know, her ability to run, contested possession, and also go forward and kick goals. In the first quarter, she only had 2 disposals, and in that second quarter, she went to work. So Ash Riddell needs to have a really big half in this second half to really be dangerous for North Melbourne.
Yeah, great point catch. Riddell averaging 32 touches a game so far this season, 12 to half time. Libby Graham's had a good day so far on Talia Randall, but we know Talia only needs a couple of moments. Monconti, we've sung her praises, 19 touches in the first half. Can Riddell and Garner impose themselves in the second half of football? Richmond, 2 quarters away from making a big statement if they can hang on against the ladder leaders. It's a 1-point game as we start the third term, part 1 of our Super Sunday doubleheader with Brisbane and Adelaide to follow. Riddell, right on cue, gets the first touch, and then Conti gets the second. Create some space, some width here for Yassir to try and run onto. Can she get there? Off the knee of O'Shea. Yassir takes her down when not in possession. It's going to be a free kick to Erica. Plays on, gains some territory. Launches to half forward for Randall. Graham there once again. O'Loughlin dangerous at the back. Lynch going with her stride for stride just to grab at the jumper. Now O'Loughlin taken down. Good body work in there, but a throw from Martin. Did the first bit really well, but didn't hit the handball. And Mackenzie will get the resultant free kick. So as the rain eases, will we see the game open up just a little in this third term? We'll have to wait and see. Still a lot of groundwater on the surface. Lavey. Mackenzie rode the tackle, but King made it stick. And King, eyes darting, looking for an option. Gives it a little bit of height inside 50. Thundering out there was Sheila, couldn't quite pull it down. Was Martin taken high? She was. Seymour with the arm over the shoulder, and a chance here for Neve Martin to go back and give North Melbourne the lead.
Get the Irish, get her first kick of the game.
So a chance for Neve, playing game number 11 in her AFLW career this afternoon. Gaelic background in Tipperary. Neve Martin, for her 4th of the season, important kick, stabs at it, keeps it low and low enough for Kelly to tip it over the crossbar.
Yeah, she didn't seem to get a perfect connection there. I think just as the ball was dropped to her foot, she just lost a bit of touch on the line.
Well done by Kelly. Scores a level. Miller runs her full measure. Tries to get as much territory as she can. McClellan at the back got rid of Craven illegally. Free kick to Tess Craven. So North winning the territory battle early in this third term as they press. Trying to grab the lead for the first time this afternoon. Swooping in there was Eddie. Snaps at Goldwood. Sliding in Kelly. Takes a critical grab. You can see Martin was lurking, waiting for the crumb, but it never came.
That was great front and centre work by Eddie. Great forward craft.
Garner. She gets good purchase on the kick. That floats all the way to the line, and Kelly's there again. Martin's got to come back. She doesn't. Got to come back to the 9. Neve didn't, and it's a 50-metre penalty.
North seem to have all the momentum at the moment. They're trying to attack the last line, and I think it's working for them. It's putting Richmond under real pressure.
Got to come back in line with the top of the goal square. Neve Martin gives away the 50-metre penalty. Mackenzie takes the mark, and the Tigers can counter here. Spreads it for Dempsey. Run from behind is Mackenzie onto that left boot. Penetrating kick inside 50. Egan almost couldn't complete it. McClellan lays the tackle on Ferguson.
That's great forward pressure. Richmond have been in top 5 for forward pressure all season. It's one of their key strengths up in the forward line.
They've got it at their end of the ground. Bruton. Craven went off the ground. Sheeran went down to try and find it. Then toe poked it cleverly to herself. Nowhere to go once she gathers it. And her power around the contest this afternoon has been influential. Egan. Tackled by King. So now a little bit of pressure on the North defence. Rennie lays it down. Riddell picks it up. If you can have that sustained pressure and just keep it in your end, Sarah, there's no margin for error for the defence. One tackle that slips over the shoulder, or you get someone in the back, or you grab them when they don't have the football, and it's a shot at goal.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's life or death in there. It really is a cage fight, and you need to get your arm across, body across, and everyone needs to be on their toes in D50.
Kelly and Randall. Kelly a toe poke. Dempsey sinks the boot into it. Pass Bruton. Rennie at the back's handball miss. Look at Richmond surging here. McClellan to Sheeran. She couldn't control it. Rennie did well to get back. Coughed up the handball. McKenzie. Dempsey trying to shake King. Screws it back to a dangerous spot in the square, in the corridor rather. Conti couldn't take it. Garner was clean. Really important possession. Kelly's been important behind the ball. She wins another touch. Manufacture handball past Seymour. Pressure on Lynch. Sliding in Dempsey. O'Loughlin missed the handball. Conti somehow spins through traffic, sizzles it inside 50. Dangerous one-on-one at the back. Greiser and Ferguson. Good strength from Ferguson. Didn't get knocked off it easily. And here's Conti. We speak of elusiveness. Whoop, there she goes.
Honestly, in those conditions, you just don't know how someone could do that, but she's just incredible. Really, so good to watch.
Really good from Tripodi there to just wriggle free as well. O'Loughlin shunted out of the way by Lynch. Eddie, Bruton. Plenty of intensity in this game right now. O'Loughlin ducked through the first one. Handball away from the second one. Play on McCall. Bruton taken down by Ford. Tripodi taken down by Lynch. Tough football to be won at the moment. Ford popped a handball. Look out, Craven. Tough to get a touch right now.
Yeah, you can really feel the game heating up, and I think their forward pressure, again, that chase pressure, it's so important.
Kelly and Rennie. Egan. King and Eddie do the job on her. Cage fight's a great way to describe it, Sarah. It's exactly what it's been this afternoon. Hand-to-hand combat in close. A ground and pound game.
It seems like no team is giving in as well. It seems like a really even contest at the moment.
North Melbourne trying to press in this third term. Richmond standing up to that pressure. Trying to exert some themselves. McKenzie got it to Ryan. She's spun by Garner. Got the ball up. Umpires working overtime this afternoon. Kelly got rid of Rennie. Garner smothered it off her boot and then socketed it forward. Gained 30 metres. Maybe now King was being held. She was against Miller. Can North get numbers forward? You can see them streaming to the right of your screen. Tigers will need to scramble in defence. Lady stands underneath it. Now tries to find it on the ground. Can't do so. Smith actually kicked O'Loughlin in the hand. Play on the call. Having to stand up is Ryan. Smith wraps her up, and now it's Richmond's defence under pressure. Tigers need to be precise with their tackles and their body work. King out of the ruck. Got it to Eddie. Snaps it goal. It was well worked, but Bella's shot just misses right.
Something tells me that Eddie is in for a goal soon. She's been at the feet of the tolls every single time. Every time the ball goes into the forward 50, so she's a very exciting player.
Reads it well, doesn't she? Gets to dangerous positions. Seymour. North Melbourne lead for the first time this afternoon. Ryan. Dalloway. Tripodi. Craven. High up and under. Oh, great timing from Lynch, and then decides to take it and go. Streams through halfback. Kicks to the middle of the ground. Greiser. Can she release the handball? She can't, but that's a good result for Richmond. Got it back to the middle. Another stoppage.
Yeah, North Melbourne and Richmond are even on clearance, and North Melbourne have stepped up their game on ground ball gets. They're ahead 55-53 on ground ball gets, so that's a real showing stat.
Asked at the start of the day, Richmond the real deal. Well, it feels like North are asking that question right now. Yeah, North have lifted their work rate. Eddie towards Randall. Conti gets the football. Handball smothered off her hand by Eddie. Putting her head down and going the other way was Lynch. We're going to find out a bit about Richmond in this last quarter in a bit, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. This is where you see real strength and real leadership, and let's see who's going to come to the fold. But at the moment, it feels like North are really putting on the pressure and they're stepping up, and you can really feel the experience come through.
North, the premiership favourites. Asking the question of the Tigers, are you a contender? Let's see if we can do this for 4 quarters. We're going to keep lifting the work rate. At the moment, the Tigers are matching them. Hicks had a jumper held by Eddie. Bruton spun in the tackle by Conti. Tripodi came in. Hicks found her boot and gained 15 metres. Riddell first back, great smother. McKenzie then looks to crash through the Smith tackle. Amy kept going. Can't quite find the ball on the ground. Dalloway does, to the voice of Conti. Well done, Tripodi. Quick kick, Riddell. Only as far as Egan. Towards half forward, 2-on-1 for North. Right. Well done, Greiser. Greiser again, this time over the shoulder. She got Ferguson around the head.
North Melbourne are doing a really good job of making Richmond kick the ball, so they're not allowing them to get the first hands.
It's been a real adjustment since the opening term from the Kangas. Some good teams can do just that. Bresnahan, Bruton a little bit of time. It's been hard to find this afternoon. Martin couldn't complete the grab. Bacon in there. Lavey comes as well. The Tigers get another stoppage on the wing. Luke. Egan slides in. Riddell. Egan to McKenzie for another ball up. Hard slog this afternoon. Both these teams endurance tested here in a compressed schedule. This is hard yards to be won. Literally. Conti gets rid of Eddie. Yasir commits the body. Bresnahan lays the tackle on Mon. Every possession earned right now the hard way.
Yeah, you talk about the condensed fixture. I think this is the 3rd game for each North and Richmond, so they're really in the thick of it at the moment. The bodies will be feeling it at the moment.
Different type of fatigue, isn't it, Sarah? It's not the open game where you're putting the huge amount of miles in your legs, but just there's a lot more contests, a lot more tackling, a lot more body contact.
Yeah, 100%. I think this is a real body contact game as well, but having a game every 4 days at the moment as well, like you really just are focusing on recovering and playing games and getting up for every game. So I suppose you see the rate of injuries.
It's just a contest slog right now. GPS numbers won't be as high as they are in an open, free-flowing game, but the toll on the body every bit as taxing. Tigers have got it to within 25 of goal. McClellan's wrapped up by Riddell, and now it's their turn to put some heat on North's defence to be tidy. What an arm wrestle. McKenzie smothered off her boot. Well done by Martin. Handball inside, McClellan under pressure. Tripodi was clean. Got it back to the wing, centre rather. Bouncing football skids its way to Graham. Gets past Randall. Awkward one for Miller. She's got support. Seymour under pressure. North are swarming. Turnover comes. Shearlaw just kicks it to space. Tigers should be back there first. They are. It's Graham. She spreads it wide, but misses. Stepsy. And it'll be a North Melbourne ball.
You get the feeling that Richmond are under a lot of pressure at the moment. North are really coming forward with real intent.
Martin towards the pocket, almost for Wall at the back. Sheila found it. Sheeran arrives. And then the release to Dempsey. She wants to look down the line. Switch way too dangerous at this stage of proceedings in these conditions. Punches it low, didn't quite get it over Bresnahan as it turns out. Riddell couldn't hit the handball. Conti swoops. Evades a couple of tacklers. Kick to the middle of the ground is a dangerous one for both teams to defend. It's Wright who gets there first. Through the fingertips. Wall at the back. Sliding in Lynch. Egan. Dalloway. Past Eddie. Egan slides in again. Ball underneath her. And Garner. Jazz tries to flip it to Riddell. She feeds it back to Smith. Knocked off her kick by Dalloway. Ryan put her head over the football. Picked up by Amy Smith. Inside 50 off the hands of Randall. Some work to do here for the Richmond defence. Seymour. Well done, Wall. Flipped it on. Well done, Miller. Got back. She'll happily take the tackle. But the umpire said no real endeavour to get rid of it. And O'Loughlin will get the free kick. 20 out directly in front. What'd you make of that one, Sarah? That is a hot free kick in these conditions, you'd think.
Yeah, that is, and it's the second one that Alice gets today, so hopefully she slots this one again.
Beck just looks exasperated and said, well, I'm not exactly sure where my prior was there. O'Loughlin, chance to kick her second. North Melbourne second. And that misses. Golden opportunity for the Kangas to create a bit of a buffer as we close on three-quarter time. O'Loughlin just shakes her head.
Yeah, and as you said, Jason, every kick at goal today, you need to maximise because it's such a difficult day to get shots on goal.
May only get one or two a quarter. Socket by Rennie. Flipped out, Lynch. Got it to Ryan. Her kick only as far as O'Shea. Inside two, you can hear the instructions from the bench, down the line. Take no risks at this stage of the term. Plenty numbers on the bottom of this. O'Loughlin, Garner, here is Eddie. Sarah, you spoke of it and you nailed it, and so did she. Bella kicks the goal. She's looked dangerous all afternoon. And Bella Eddie kicks North Melbourne second, and they open up a handy little buffer. It's 8 points, but really in the context of the game, it feels like 3 goals. Jason Bennett alongside Nostradamus. Sarah Rowe, you called that. You predicted it a few minutes ago. Bella Eddie getting to dangerous positions.
I know, it's almost like I manifested it for her, but she looks to be so dangerous all day. You know, when you just get that feeling sometimes from a player, you go, they're just about to do something, and she did. She did a great job there.
So Richmond will be hunting that one back. They've got a minute and a half to find it. They give away a free kick. Garner has it. This is where North are really ratcheting up the pressure now. To take out the big teams, you've got to go with them for 4 quarters. North have absorbed some Richmond pressure. Now it's up to the Tigers to try and ratchet it back their way. And with 70 seconds left, they simply have to hang on here at the very least. Kelly the tap. Bruton adds to the pressure. Randall at the front. Miller. Lynch. Only as far as Brenny. North hunting another goal here. Well done by Egan, cut off the lead. Here's Eddie again. King, Bruton, gets distance on the kick. 2-on-1 in the square, off hands, minor score, and the Tigers are hanging on grimly here.
That's the front and centre work again from Eddie. It's just so important as a forward to get to the fall of the ball, and she's doing it so well today.
9-point game now, 38 seconds left. Miller saying, hey, we need to huddle here. We need to go long and wide and take no chances. We just have to kill the clock. First link in the chain is Graham. Out towards Luke. Ricochets off the contest, still time for the Kangas. Bruton to the corridor, sliding in. Dempsey couldn't complete the grab. Here's the dangerous Riddell. Dangerous Garner as well, towards the square. O'Loughlin picks it up. Important tackle from Lynch, and really good. She didn't get in O'Loughlin's back. 13 seconds to hang on here. Darren Crocker's team hunting another goal. An insurance policy. Garner. 3 seconds. Riddell through traffic, can't get a boot to it, and the Tigers hang on. North flex their muscle in the third term. They took it to another gear. They've They've opened up a 9-point lead as we head for home at UTAS Stadium in Launceston. It's North Melbourne 2-6-18, Richmond 1-3-9.
All right, three-quarter time here, and North Melbourne get out to a 9-point lead here. I tell you what, it doesn't seem much 9 points, folks, but in these trying conditions, it's hard to score. Of course, North Melbourne putting on 2 goals for in that third term, which was a fantastic effort. Richmond unable to score. Can the Tigers fight back? This is what you got to do against the top sides. You know, the top sides, they bring 4 quarters. Can the Tigers bring the last quarter? They've been pretty good so far. They've withstood North Melbourne's pressure. As I said, North Melbourne, they brought plenty of pressure in that third quarter. They were the ones fighting, pushing forward the entire way. Richmond struggled to get it up down to their forward 50. I tell you what, we're in for a fantastic last quarter. Even though it's a low-scoring game, folks, hold on to your seats, because we're in for a fantastic last quarter. North Melbourne 2-6-18, leading the Tigers 1-3-9. Saroos by 9. Let's go over and check out the disposals. And of course, the star is on the ground. Of course, is Monique Conti. I tell you what, she just looks the best player out on the ground. Well, there you go. She's like a Lockie Neal from Brisbane. She's just that good and clean, and she's always in there and getting the ball. 23 disposals there from Monique Conti, 9 kicks, 14 handballs, 1 mark, 8 tackles. Tell you what, she's just having a great game. Jasmine Garner, their next best there for the Kangaroos. She tops their table with 17, 13 kicks, 4 handballs. She's had 10 tackles, so tell you what, she's exerting some energy there today with those tackles. There's a lot of stoppages around the ball today, and of course a lot of players tackling and using up their energy that way. So it's a bit of a physical game that way. Who can outlast the other in this final quarter? Let's keep rolling down the stats for your player. You'll get to see how they're performing up until three-quarter time. Shout out to the 11 million people in the house at the moment. Appreciate you all coming in. I hope you're enjoying the AFLW live coverage here today. Don't forget to hit that like button while you're listening on in. Always appreciate the extra likes on the live stream. Always helps out the channel. And it's absolutely fantastic. Let's just have a look at the goal scorers. Only the 3 goal scorers so far today in this match. And of course, the only goal scorer for the Tigers is, yes sir, was the first goal scorer of the day. And of course, for the Kangaroos, Alice O'Loughlin and Bella Eddy. There we go. There are your goal scorers. Let's just have a look at the stats. And as you would expect, North Melbourne should be starting to get on top in the stats department now. 174, 170. North Melbourne take the lead in the disposal count. They've had now 18 more kicks, only 14 less handballs. The Tigers did have that big advantage with the handballs before, but there we go. 27 inside 50s to 18, just dominating in that third term, as we said, were the Kangaroos. They've had 8 scoring shots for their 27 inside 50s, whereas Richmond been inside 18 times for just the 4 scoring shots. Disposal efficiency still a little bit low there for the Kangas, and probably where it's supposed to be, 53 for the Tigers. As I say, it's a really hard day to control the ball. It's just getting more, the ball seems to be just getting more slippery, like having soap on the ball is just hard to handle. And of course, those classy players like Monique Conti, etc. on the ground there, they make it look reasonably easy out there. 19 free kicks to 9, North Melbourne by 10. That's a big discrepancy. There you go. All right, the hit-outs, Tigers still by 3. The clearances, centre clearances, stoppage clearances, all pretty even. For the match so far, contested possessions, North Melbourne just a bit harder at the ball there, uncontested. Levelling up there a little bit more, 79 to 60. 19 to 11 marks there. There you go. I would have thought North Melbourne were in front, but it's the Tigers marking a little bit better by 8. And of course, the defensive tackles, North Melbourne doing a good job there, 76 to 60. And look at that, inside 50 tackles, really bringing the heat, North Melbourne, 16 to 5 Wow. All right, folks, let's get back down to the ground with the commentators, and they will take us into the final quarter. It's the Kangaroos by 9 points.
And started telling the girls what to do, and it really worked for them. Loving the work of Vicky Wall, who was really quiet in the first half. And also, it's really a hard day for people like Kate Sheila, because this is not a game for the forwards, especially the tall forwards. It's a game for the smaller forwards. So, yeah.
Thanks, Ketch. North Melbourne without Emma Carney. They lost her in the opening couple of minutes with a hamstring injury. Sarah, what have we noticed in the numbers and in terms of the overall trend in the game?
Yeah, we've noticed that North Melbourne have been winning the stats in terms of 13 inside 50s versus 4 of Richmond's inside 50s. So they're really putting on that frontal pressure, and hence why they've got more shots on goal.
And early on, Richmond won the ground ball, they won the contested possession, and then they won the handball to get it out. But that's almost flipped on its head, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. North Melbourne have been getting their hands on the ball, hands first on the ball, using the hands and essentially doing what Richmond did to them in the first quarter.
So can the Tigers turn it around? They're 9 points down. Sheeran. King taken down. Takes her down, rather. Wins the free kick, gives it to Riddell. It's a little bit brighter than it has been throughout the day. Still very heavy conditions. Wall gets on the end of this. Ball's only ever going to skid straight in these conditions, and it misses right. Tigers, you feel, need that first goal, would give them enormous lift. They've been so good all afternoon, but North just showed their class and their power and their experience in the third term. Just muscled their way back into the game. Kicked 1-4 to no score. Hit the front, they lead by 10 points. Dempsey goes to Lynch. Slides out of bounds. So Sarah, it's going to be a free kick to North Melbourne. It's very much a case now, can Richmond get it back on their terms the way they had it early?
Yeah, well, I think that they need to get some scoring pressure on very early and to get a goal early to give them that bit of momentum. But I think the tides will turn at some point this quarter, just a matter of when. Can
Richmond get some outside ball through the likes of Conti? He looks so dangerous in that first term. Garner getting involved. Sheeran's been alongside her all day. Egan, can she get through traffic? Garner wins it back. Sheeran lays the smother. Ball ricochets to 50. Wall lurking, commits the body. Seymour's handball ripped in by Kelly. She's taken down but found Conti. He gives it to Dempsey. Back to Conti. Kick towards the wing. Great sliding effort from Wright. Full body spoil from Sarah Wright. Sheila tapped it down in the Garner direction. Kelly's handball partly smothered. Seymour an important touch. Egan, Dempsey, the fend on Bruton, coughed it up to King. King bounces it inside 50. Graham got to be clean here. She was. Even better than that, she found the exit and Dempsey can settle things down. Stabs to Conti. Mon up to 26 touches, leads the game. Garner's had 18 now for the Kangas. Sheeran's had 15, so since half-time, Garner's managed to get on top in that battle with Sheeran. Gee, it's been great to watch.
Yeah, it's been a great battle to watch, and I think that's the thing. You see experience as well. On days like this, in particular in the third quarter, it's the experience that comes through, and it's shining through in everything we see from Jazz Garner and her leadership on field. But yeah, she's had a real strong third quarter. I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do next.
See them there at the bottom of the frame. Sheeran and Garner, there they are. It's King, gets it to Bruton. North just winning their share now, more than their share of those 50-50 ground balls. That's where the game has turned. Sheila went off the ground, kicked it straight into Lynch. Maybe a chance here for the Kangas. Smith keeps it going. Garner tracks it. Graham gets there first and will have to concede. Umpire said insufficient intent. And Randall gets her opportunity. So Talia Randall up against the fence. 5-2 for the season. Does she set it up or go for it? From 30 out, she sets it up. Hits a floater. And it's going to work perfectly for Garner. This is kind of reflective of how North Melbourne are. You can shut them down for a while, but can you do it for 4 quarters?
That's the thing. I think with the best teams in the league, this is what you see. Third, fourth quarters just to tell a full story. But yeah, their experience is really shining through now.
She's found a way to impose herself on the game like the champion that she is. Now to make it a 16-point margin. Point blank range. Garner poked at it. and missed. Didn't kick through the footy at all. And it drifted left. And the Tigers dodge a huge bullet. Hicks to Dempsey. Can they transition it down their end of the ground? North have done a great job locking it in the front half so far in this last term. Dempsey's kicked towards the wing. Bresnahan in there scrapping. The first 4 inside 50s of the term, all North Melbourne. Egan had her jumper held. Conti tries to drive through the Tripodi tackle. This is where Richmond need to find a way to get it from inside to outside like they did earlier in the game, and they look so dangerous. And Conti was the main contributor to that. This time she runs out of space. That's got to be the blueprint, Sarah.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're putting a lot of time and work into Mon Conti. They know how dangerous she can be, so they need to be on her at all times.
She is the engine starter. You can see Tripodi playing off her there, but clearly responsible for her. The stoppage closes in on her now. Garner and Sheeran go at it. Egan, there's Conti involved again, and there is the release handball. Gets it to the outside for Sheeran. She gets it inside 50. Huge collision from Yasir. Creates the spill. Picked up by O'Shea. Sneaks away. Gets a kick. Roosa got good representation at half-back. Egan. Hicks. North numbers back. Birch in the right spot.
That's the slide that we talk about from North Melbourne. They always have a +1 in defence, so you don't want to kick it to the dangerous space because there'll be someone there.
You saw Mon Conti getting hands on the football, releasing Sheeran. That's all it took for Richmond to have a chance to score. Dempsey hit it off the instep. Stops in the puddle. Wall picks it up. Kick partly smothered. Good body work there from Seymour. Open the gate for Conti. And she uses the ball beautifully to Egan. Can she find an option inside 50? Ruse have got numbers back again. Yasir couldn't take it. Birch, King, kick partly smothered. Garner taken high. Wastes no time. Is it going to come back? I think it is. They're not going to play advantage. Come back to Jazzy Garner. So just over 10 minutes to play in the game. North on an 11-point lead. But a goal to Richmond would just change everything, both in terms of who can win the game, but also just the pressure and the psychology of it, Sarah.
Yeah, definitely. I think just a shift in momentum. You always need something to happen. You need one big moment and then the tides turn again. So hopefully Richmond can have that.
Garner, was she dealt with late? No, it's going the other way. It's going against the Kangas. It's going to Poppy Kelly. So Richmond now having a few minutes of pressing, but they need to put it on the board. They need some return for their investment here. Inside 50 off the chest of Yasir. They put the pressure on McClelland. McKenzie. The time is now for Richmond. Can they manufacture something? It's been almost an hour since their last major. But if they get one here, they'll get a huge surge of adrenaline and belief. Mia King's kick. Emma King. And the danger for North, they're so good at absorbing the pressure, and they can counter-punch in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, they can. You look at Vicky Wall there, she's working tirelessly, defensive, chase pressure, and it's just everywhere at the moment, just in terms of her defensive pressure as a forward.
Garner goes off the ground, ball holds up in the groundwater. Wall soccers it into Graham. Graham touches it. Do they say that's a last touch? It was an inadvertent one. Oh, the Tigers have claimed it. Pretty sure they came off Libby Graham's foot, actually. But
that's exactly what I was thinking.
But Conti grabbed it straight away. Good poker face from Mon. Back to half forward. Here's McClelland. Richmond just need to string together a chain of meaningful possession. It was touched off the boot, so Birch had to go. Right in support. Coming out to meet it, Shearlaw. Couldn't complete the grab. Martin on the crumb. Soccer went as far as Smith. Now got Lynch to deal with. In fact, it was Dalloway. Out to Levy. Inside 50 kick to a 2-on-1. Is it going to be a free kick to Greiser? It is. And Caitlin within range.
Yeah, that's Caitlin's role all season. She's just been not allowing defenders to get on the ball that easily, and those intercept marks that North have been having at the moment, she's been putting real pressure on.
So it was that initial push from Birch. Huge moment here for Caitlin Greiser and for the Tigers. She's kicked 5-4 for the season. This to bring it back within a kick and give Richmond the spark they're looking for. It's on its way. It's straight. It's home. Five-point game in Launceston. Ryan Ferguson sent out the message. His team will get an enormous boost from that. Their first goal since the opening term. Caitlin Greiser with the all-important finish. And we're back within a kick with just over 7.5 to play.
That was great by Caitlin Greiser, especially from that distance in these conditions, but she's been really important to Richmond this season, and great finish.
Brings them back within 5 points. Now, psychologically, we were talking about it a couple of minutes ago, Sarah, it flips everything, doesn't it? Now the pressure's all back on North.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to see Richmond win this clearance and get the ball out and get it down deep inside their forward 50 and put the real pressure on.
Sheila gets it forward for the Kangas, though. Looking to respond and respond quickly. Wall takes the tackle. So now from a North Melbourne perspective, they'll be happy to get it. You can see Darren Crocker saying, hey, get back behind the football. Let's just lock it down our end for a couple of minutes and put the heat on Richmond. Craven gets it inside 50. Slap towards the line. And that'll put the onus on Richmond at some point to have to take a risk to get it down their end of the ground.
Yeah, definitely. They have to be bold with their ball movement now and stick to system and get the ball deep inside their forward 50 and move it as quick as possible.
Still got 7 minutes, so plenty of time to work with. But North will look to chew up a couple of these minutes right now. If they can't score, that's the next best result. Let's sock it forward. Best result's a goal. And they might get it. Here's Eddie again. Well done, Graham, in the right spot. Now, it would have been 50 if she hadn't have played on, because the North player on the mark wasn't coming back off the 9, but because she played on, the umpire went to put the whistle to the mouth, and in the end said, okay, you played on.
Yeah, that was Eddie again. You see, she's getting into such great spots as well, just very smart with the way she moves and her running patterns.
5 point game. North a chance to establish the buffer once again with 6 1/4 to play. Gets over the back. Riddell's lurking. Picks it up. Flips the handball. Craven finds her boot. Play on. Was it touched? It was not. And guess who? Garner. She missed the last shot. Didn't kick through it. She gets another opportunity from 20 out directly in front.
Yeah, Garner, another opportunity for her. I think that she'll slot this one, and you know, her experience is everything to this group.
Riddell to Craven to Garner. Jazzy stood up in the big moments so many times. Of course, she kicked the first ever goal in AFLW for Collingwood on opening night all those years ago. She can kick another important one here for North. Slots this one. Back out to 11 points. Jazzy Garner re-establishes a handy buffer for North Melbourne. Critical steadying goal. And they lead by 11 points once again with 5.5 to play.
That was a great response by Jazz Garner. I think you look at the goal before that from Caitlin Greiser, and that's a great way for North to respond. You know, we were looking for Richmond to go down and get the ball in deep into their forward 50, but it happened in reverse, and North did really well on that occasion.
Darren Crocker will be delighted. They won the centre clearance, they got it forward, they locked it in, and they got the reward. Chewed up some time. Perfect football from North Melbourne. Sheeran trying to keep the Tigers in it. Bresnahan into the path of King. Can she get there in time? She can. Just managed to touch it. And forced to throw in. Well done, Mia King. Just over 5 to play. Richmond need the quick response. Best conditions we've had all afternoon right now. Kelly takes it from the ruck. Couldn't quite get the kick away though. Sheeran went in with the boot. Conti taken down. Umpire said illegally in the back, non-Conti. Can she get something going here for Richmond? Doesn't hit the kick well at all. Eddie got a hand in there. Mia King goes off the ground. Beck Miller picks up the football, blasts it back inside 50. Bouncing ball towards the pocket. Ferguson strains to get there against Dempsey. Ferguson with strength will happily take the line. Dempsey prevents that. Ball up. Only the tap. Mackenzie off her left boot. Out of bounds on the fall. Bad result for Richmond. There's Emma King receiving some treatment to that left leg. Just under 4 minutes to play. Libby Birch has it. Floats it to 50, and that's an important grab from Rennie. So now it's just about game management for North Melbourne.
Yeah, definitely. And experienced teams find ways to win in these critical moments of the game, and I think they'll be well set up with their experience to manage this game from here.
Conti trying to make something happen for Richmond to keep them alive. We'll get to the back for Yasia. Can she find her boot? Good pressure, Ferguson. Birch there. Ferguson receives from Rennie. Yasia takes her to the line. Umpire says, throw it in. The time is now for Richmond. Can they manufacture something from the stoppage? Still time if they can get a quick one. North will be looking to just shut it down. They'll be looking for an uncontested mark. Darren Crocker shakes his head, giving that gum a workout. Socket by Dempsey. Could Grisey use her strength? Well done, Craven. Wouldn't relent. Someone on the move maybe here for Richmond. Egan came in. Sheeran was beaten to it. Important win for Garner. It was touched off the boot. Wall did well. Got it to Eddie. North will be happy with territory and uncontested mark. Perfect again from the Kangas. They play it well, and Randall with experience slows it down. Hits the next uncontested mark. Tigers need to match up here. Wall has it, and in no hurry whatsoever. Good penetration on the kick. Graham's been a workhorse back there for Richmond. Bruton's handball a little hot for Craven. Seymour in there. Graham runs into Bruton. And now North have the luxury of just being able to lock it in their front half and chew through some more time.
Yeah, and you see what North are trying to do. Obviously slow down the ball, get a mark, and just slow the game down and keep it on their terms.
It's been a professional performance from North Melbourne. Challenged early, muscled their way to the front in the third term. Tigers have come at them in the last. North have done the right things at the right time, and so as you say, the best teams are the best teams because they find ways to win.
Yeah, exactly. Just in days like this, in particular with the weather, you just find a way, get your feel for the game, and then towards the back end of the game, just figure out how you're going to win, and they just seem to do it every time.
Good in-game problem solving from the Kangas this afternoon. They've adjusted after Richmond jumped them early. You see it. Mackenzie taken down by O'Shea. Precious time ticking for the Tigers here. Just over 90 seconds.
That was a great tackle by Erica O'Shea.
Can Richmond get a clean takeaway? Riddell out into some space. Wall grits her teeth. Happy to take the tackle. That was good. Sensible play from Vicky Wall. She looked around to see that Seymour was going to tackle her at just the moment she picked up the football, so she knew she was safe.
Yeah, she did know she was safe. She's been really great today. It's been her pressure and just her ability to absorb pressure all the time. She's a strong force up there.
Conti Holber not in possession according to the umpire. They've got to go something bold here, but that kick split the difference and went straight to Craven. So North should be in no hurry here. Craven wants a target inside 50. Randall provides it. It gets over the back. Chance here. Martin. Handball inside. To Dangerous Eddie to finish it. Important point. Well, they're 2 goals in front. They can't lose from here. That is for certain.
Yeah, that was good hands by Lachlan. Very smart play. And obviously Eddie to get on to the end of it.
Middle will just go straight down the middle with the barrel. Doesn't quite hit it. Craven. Riddell. North looking for the finishing blow. King, Garner, Rare fumble. Conti picks it up. Riddell. Garner found it again on the ground. It spills out. Dempsey. Can't get through Craven. 26 seconds to play. And Kelly gets into the back of Randall, who can go back, take her time, wind down the clock and ice this game. Richmond have been impressive. Will have lost no admirers this afternoon. They've served it up to North Melbourne all afternoon. But the class of the Kangas, in the end, their experience right across the ground, got the job done when it mattered. And Talia Randall to finish it. The Kangaroos keep on rolling. They survive at Launceston. The Tigers threw everything at them, but North remain undefeated. It was Richmond by 5 points at quarter time, North Melbourne by a point at the half. North took control in the third term. They kicked 1-4 to no score. And then in the final term, they closed it out with 1-3 to one straight goal to run out 12-point winners. North Melbourne 3-9-27 defeat Richmond 2-3-15. In a really entertaining game, it must be said, given the conditions, Sarah Rowe.
Yeah, definitely, and a real experienced North Melbourne team ended up rising to the occasion, as we always suspected. But Richmond were very good today, and we talk about experience, but without experience, without their captain, Katie Brennan, you know, she's a huge loss, and Sarah Hoskins and also Maddie Shevlin. So 3 outs for Richmond, you know, is a difficult task for any team. So I think it was a great performance by Richmond, but obviously always impressed by North Melbourne, the way they played, the way they moved the ball.
Just able to find another gear, able to solve problems in game. We mentioned it during the call. It's such an important point in being a great team, is that a team can come out and get the jump on you. Things aren't working for you, but you find a way as a group, as a collective, to solve that problem and then get the game on your terms.
Yeah, definitely. And you don't want to get too heightened in those times in at quarter time when you're down or you feel like the momentum is with the other team. It's like you find and you see that balance with teams like North Melbourne all the time. They rise to the occasion. And
Jazz Garner epitomised that this afternoon. She finished with 24 possessions and a goal, and here she is with catch.
Jazz, what amazing game. The top four clash. How tough was it to beat the Tigers today?
Yeah, it was pretty tough. It was an arm wrestle all day. And it was one of those games that was really wet. You know, pretty much everything goes out the door and it becomes a territory game. And yeah, really proud of the girls. We, dug in and got it done.
Do you like playing in the wet?
Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah, you just get in, kick the ball forward. Try not to overhandball it too much. But yeah, it becomes one of those games where, a lot of things go out the door, what you practice during the week, and you just, territory game and, try to hit the scoreboard.
It's been a series of so many games in the last couple of weeks for you guys. How's the body feeling?
Yeah, pretty fatigued, to be honest, especially running out here today. The ground's pretty wet. But, we tick the box. We got the job done. Refresh this week and, go again.
You're looking forward to a normal week next week?
Yeah, it would be nice to have a few trainings. It'd be good to get back to the club and, train and go again.
Amazing. Good luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, girl.
North Melbourne by 12 points, says Emma Carney. Their partner, Kate Sheil, or Emma, out with a hamstring injury in the early minutes. The Kangas hang on in a hard-fought clash in Tassie. North Melbourne 3-9-27. Richmond 2-3-15 in part one of our Sunday doubleheader. Lions and Crows coming up next.
All right, folks. All right. There we go. North Melbourne taking out this game today in what was a hard-fought slog on a wet day. Tell you what, Richmond lost no admirers today in the way they performed. They did extremely well. Failing by 2 goals, the Kangaroos just a little bit too good on this occasion. Let's just check out the poll. We had the vote who was going to win today's game. 29 votes. We had 55% saying North Melbourne. So we got it right in the chat today, folks. But that's about all I've got for this game down here at UTAS Stadium here in Launceston, where it was North Melbourne by 12 points over the Tigers. Thanks everyone for coming in. We're going to head over to the next game in just a few moments' time. That's going to be an absolute ripper where Brisbane Lions take on the Adelaide Crows. Second play fourth on the ladder. Should be another exciting game coming up in just about 10 minutes' time. All right, folks, thanks everyone for joining us for this game. We'll see everyone at the next one. Until next time, ciao for now. We'll see you in the next game.